are unstoppable. Believing in Jesus. We do it by God's grace. I am empowered by faith.
Stand to your feet and let's worship our King, our Father. Come on, it's Winning Sunday. It's Winning Sunday. Come on, let's stand up. Let's praise God. He's worthy to be praised.
Yes, Lord.
He's worthy to be adored. And we just love him. The song just says, bless the Lord, oh my soul. And we can do that together. Y'all ready, congregation? Come on, just clap your hands.
so much.
I owe you one.
Lord, we thank you for this food.
I appreciate it.
You're the best.
This is such a blessing.
Too many times, these sayings become an empty platitude. But how often do we take the time to truly show gratitude? To be still and reflect on the kindness we've been shown. To realize our blessings are not something we are owed. When kindness is offered, when grace is extended, a passive thanks doesn't deliver the impact intended. So let's actively consider the power of being grateful and meditate on the ways our God has remained faithful. Be thankful for life with its valleys and hills, from the peace of nature to its exciting thrills. Be thankful for the people we have in our lives. Family, friends, co-workers, their support helps us thrive. Be thankful for ourselves, who we are and who we're becoming. After all, we are wonderfully made, and everything He creates is stunning. So be thankful for the Creator, the giver of all things, the one who sets aside our faults and adorns us with robes and rings. Take a moment to breathe and be grateful for all He's done, for the provision and the strength, the surprises and the fun, His unifying love that He knows us all by name. He is able, and we are grateful that in Him we are all the same. So as we gather together to celebrate the blessings of the past year, eating the food, playing the games, taking the pictures, feeling the cheer, we can't forget to take a moment to be still, let our feet be planted, and find a new appreciation for the blessings we've been granted.
Life has been well described as a journey. The journey of life. The journey of life. From a kingdom perspective, we are seeking to become all that God purposed us to be and to do all God has purposed us to do. That's the kingdom perspective on life. I want and need and desire to be all God purposes me to be and to do all God purposes me to do while I am on my journey. Because one thing for sure about life is that your journey has a start and an end. It's not a journey that's going to go on forever. Some of our journeys are 10 years, some are 50, some are 40, some are 90, some are 65, some are 35. You don't know how long your journey is, but you do know you're on a journey. Life is well described as a journey, and we live life on this journey. We live it in stages. There are stages and phases to the journey. We live life in stages and in phases. God is not always doing what He has done. Somebody today is looking for God where He used to be. Let me tell you, you got to move with God. If you're going to make the most of your journey in life, you've got to learn to move with God. Please write that down. If you're going to make the most of life, moving with God is an essential thing to learn. Many people miss out on what God purposed them to ultimately become and ultimately accomplish because they are not prepared to move with God. And so they get stuck in a season while God has moved into a different season completely, and they are missing God because God's not coming back to you. You got to catch up with God. I wish I could have a conversation. I'm saying to us that often even churches are in a place where God used to be, still praising and shouting over things that God did 50 years ago. That's a great thing. He did it 50 years ago, but the question is, what is God doing right now? history is important, but history ought to connect to destiny, which means that there is a before, but there's also a not yet. Oh God, I said there is a before, but there's also a not yet. And anytime you get stuck in the nostalgia of what was before to the point that you cannot embrace the not yet, then you have no use for faith. Because faith does not work on yesterday. Faith works on tomorrow. Can I talk to y'all here? I'm saying to you that the reason your windshield is bigger than your rearview mirror is because you ought not drive from the rearview mirror. The rearview mirror is for glancing. The windshield is for staring. Oh my God. Some of us have bigger rearview mirrors in our life than we have windshields. And so you live your life based on what you have done, what you have seen, what was in the yesteryears, and you have no perspective on what God is doing now and what God has in your not yet. And so you find people who can only celebrate the victory they won years ago. Those were the good old days. Well, listen, brothers and sisters, guess what? They're over. Those days are over, and it's good to learn from the good old days, but you can't live in the good old days because those were past tense, yesterday, overdone. I mean, the New England Patriots used to be in the Super Bowl every year, but today it's the Chiefs and the 49ers. Today it is no longer Tom Brady, it's Patrick Mahomes. Come on, it's Purdy. It's a whole new season. It's a new generation. I'm trying to say to us, if you still talking about the Patriots, that's a good thing to visit every now and then. But today it's Mahomes, it's Purdy, and a dude named C.J. Stroud. I wish I had somebody here talking back to me. And many of us still are stuck in the nostalgia of what was, what used to be. But when you touch your neighbor and tell them, I serve a God who's always moving me forward. That was a place to shout right there. Because the truth of the matter is, everything about your past was not the good old days. Some of those were bad days. And I'm so glad that God does not have me stuck even in where I used to be, because where I used to be was not me at my best. If I could get about 15 people in here who can admit that your used to be was not you at your best. Oh, God. Oh, God. Come on, say, my best me is not behind me. My best me is still ahead of me. And that's how you can tell. You can tell people who think that their best me is behind them because they have no excitement for the next me. Oh, God, I wish I could talk to some. Listen, can I tell you why I'm glad to get up every morning and I can wake up at 4 a.m. or 3:30 and have energy and get my note-taking material out and start meditating and praying, because I'm excited about the next me. Oh, God, I'm so excited about the next me, my next moment, my next opportunity, my next situation, my next victory. I've got next on my mind. Oh, okay. Slow down. Y'all got to slow me down. I'm trying to teach and preach and teach. I'm trying to tell you, I can tell you don't have a next me in mind. Because by now, me talking about next me would have woke up the next you in you, and you would be just as inspired as I am. But I need you to understand that circumstances sometimes can cloud your vision, and your next you can be a blur and a fog and a haze. But I came today with a prophetic word. I'm here on purpose to disturb your situation, to say to you that there's a next with your name on it that does not look like you're right now. And if you could get a glimpse of it, you will know it looks better. Can I get 20 people who will dare somebody, say, let me shake your hand because I want to welcome you to the next phase of your life. Get ready for the next stage. Get ready for the next stage. Listen. We enter the experience of Joshua and the children of Israel in chapter 3 of the book of Joshua. They are in a place, they're in a place of possibility that you and I need to investigate, because they have been in the wilderness for 40 years. For 40 years, they've been in the wilderness, a place of stagnation where nothing much changed. So much so that they had the same clothes. The blessing is that they had clothes and that their clothes would not wear out. I mean, God literally kept their shoes and their clothes from wearing out for 40 years. But they didn't get a new pair. They didn't get the new set of clothes, but at least the clothes didn't. I mean, can you imagine waking up for 40 years and the same clothes in your closet? That's stagnation. Not only did they have the same clothes for 40 years, they had the same dinner menu and breakfast menu for 40 years. They got nothing new to eat. They had manna falling from the sky every morning. And they had quail falling in the camp for their food meat every day for 40 years. That would be enough to make anybody think that the journey will never get better. They lived in the same condition for 40 years. So all of their external circumstances remained the same for 40 years. So they had a 40-year period of total stagnation. And still, they had a promise of God hanging over their head. Oh, somebody missed this. God had promised them a land flowing with milk and honey, with houses they did not build, with crops that they did not plant. And so in spite of the fact that for 40 years, even though that stage lasted 4 decades, they still had a promise. And I want to talk to somebody here who's been dealing with circumstances that look like they would never change. I want to talk to 2 or 3 people here who've been making the same money, who've been living in the same situation, dealing with issues that look like they were never going to get better. Tell somebody, your life is not based on your predicament at present. Base your life on a promise that hasn't occurred. Your potential is not in your predicament, your potential is in God's promise. Said, I thought y'all were ready for this word. Will you tell somebody your potential is not in your predicament, your potential is in God's promise? Is there anybody here who has a present predicament that you don't like? Is there anybody who has a present predicament that you are not satisfied with? Is there anyone who has a present predicament that's not meeting all your needs? Anybody has a present predicament that's not fulfilling your expectation? I need to talk to y'all. The rest of my sermon is to those people. I'm not preaching anymore to people who this, because this message is designed for people who have a present predicament that doesn't look like your potential. That's who I want to preach to on this Sunday morning. And if that's you, I need to wave at me or talk to somebody who's standing up and say, hey, I've got a present predicament that does not look like my potential. And God's about to give me a prophetic word so that I can live my life based on the promise of God, not the predicament that I'm in right now. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, put your chair right. I don't care. You know me. Look. I'm trying to say to you that that's where they are. And the Bible says, in that predicament, God speaks to Joshua, elevates him as the new leader of the children of Israel. And Joshua is instructed by God to give the word that it was time for another stage, time for another phase, that the 40-year stage has come to a conclusion. It's run its course. God is saying that what I was doing, what I was accomplishing, what my purpose was for the stagnation, I finished that. Everything I was trying to teach you, I've taught it. Everything you could get out of this lesson, you've gotten it. In other words, you finished this class, you got to move, not now. Would you tell somebody you are at a place now where you should have gotten what God was trying to teach, because now it's time for elevation. You learn how to praise him on the same clothes every day. You learn how to praise God on a go nowhere job. You learn how to praise God while you were on your back. You learn how to praise God while it didn't look like things was going to change. And God has said, you praise me then, I'm going to bless you now. Church, 5 people saying, say, God ready to bless you now. Listen, hurry. Here's where they are. Here's where they are. They are on the brinks of breakthrough. It's the first thing. They're on the brinks of breakthrough. They are camped out near the Jordan. Y'all got to hurry now. Y'all throw me down. They're camped out on the brink of Jordan. They are on the brink. A breakthrough. They're a few feet away from what they've been waiting for 40 years. And on the brink of breakthrough. See, today, I want you to pay attention to this, because you need to know that when you're on the brink of breakthrough, there's some things you got to do to get over. I know this for myself. The community of faith right now, this church, is on the brink of breakthrough. Now, yeah, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, let me tell you why some of y'all don't believe it. Listen, during the 40 years, the scripture says everybody over 20 with the wrong mindset died out. Like God had to have a lot of funerals. So then, the crowd did not look the same as it looked 40 years ago. The reason some of us can't believe on the brink of breakthrough is because there's some people missing. And you count the members who used to be here because you think our breakthrough was based on them. And God is saying, no, your breakthrough is based on him. Look, okay. See, some of y'all don't think, sister, you don't think your breakthrough is headed you're not there because you don't have the right man. Some ladies are waiting for the right man to show up in your life for your breakthrough to happen. Can I tell you something? That God don't need you to have a man for your breakthrough. God can give you your breakthrough with you and your 10 children. All by yourself. I came to do damage to the devil today. The devil is a lie. You still say, I gotta find me a man. I need somebody to help me pay my bills, to help me with these kids. You got somebody. You got the God who owns the heavens and the earth on your side. You don't need somebody to lay down with. You need somebody to stand up with. God can elevate you right where you are. I'm gonna get a house when I get a man. And what's even more pathetic, there's some men these days waiting on a woman to take care of them. Don't start me there. I'm just trying to make the point. Your faith has to be in your God. I'm not waiting for a new president or a new governor or a new mayor. I have the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords in my life. I'm God's favorite son. I'm anointed. I've got power. Tell somebody we're on the brink of a breakthrough, but you're not acting like it. See, the brink of a breakthrough is a place of anticipation. Because I've been waiting on this for 40 years. Now, the good news is this. For some of us, you was on the brink before, but messed it up. I want to talk to two people here. I know most of y'all have never done this, but at least two of us, me plus one, have been on the brink of breakthrough before, but fumbled the ball. But I need those two people with me who will praise God for another chance at breakthrough. Tell your neighbor, I'm on the brink again. And this time, I've got to get it right. I don't have time to miss it now. I'm on the brink of breakthrough, and I've got to get it now because God gave me another chance. I need you. Can you give God another chance? Shout. Can you give God another chance? Praise. Can you give God glory for another chance at breakthrough? I need some more grateful people for another chance to get as close to me as you can, because I'm about to go somewhere now. This is about another chance at breakthrough. And the Lord is saying, He wants an atmosphere in this place every week of another chance. Because that's the season that we are in. This is another chance at breakthrough season. Listen, on the brink. I gotta hurry. Look. Now, you gotta remember, that some of these people were born in the wilderness. They weren't there 40 years ago. So they don't really understand the passion of the people who've been waiting. Because they don't understand why you are so excited. Because they don't really know the prayers you had to pray. They don't know how hard it was for you to keep your hope alive. They don't know the disappointments that you've seen. They don't know the heartbreak and the heartache that came from having to go through the same thing over and over. So you got to help them to catch on fire with your level of expectation and say to them, if you only knew where we've been, you would understand why we are so enthusiastic, so excited, and so determined, and so serious. Will you touch up? I'm serious about this thing now. Oh, I'm serious. Come on, tell me, I'm serious. You got to know where I was for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm serious about this. I've got to take advantage. I'm on the brink. I messed up, but I'm on the brink. I made mistakes, but I'm on the brink. I jacked this thing up, but God, by his grace, has me on the brink one more time. Listen, hurry. Listen. And on the brink, Joshua said to them, come close. Come close. See the ones who moved? Joshua, come close to hear the word of the Lord. Now I want you to get this. Come close. Come here. Come close. Come here. The words of the Lord. Now, several things come to mind here, because when Joshua says come close to hear the word of the Lord, what he's saying is proximity to the prophetic voice is key to the breakthrough. When you're on the brink, you got to come close. Proximity to the prophetic voice is an indication that you understand that your future is in what God has to say. Get this. Get this. Get this. See, you can't be there and here at the same time. To come close to something or to somebody elevates its significance. And the enemy works to keep distance between you and the voice that God is speaking to you through. Because if this is the prophetic voice and I'm over here, then other voices have my ear and my attention. He's speaking over here, but I'm hearing over here. And if he's speaking over here, but I'm hearing over here, then faith can't come. Because God's vision for your future is always in a voice. Come on, tell somebody, God's vision for your future is always in a voice. That's why the devil uses voices. If you don't have the right voice in its proper place, then your vision will be distorted because your hearing will deceive you. Now, with 1 million or so people in the congregation, there was still only one voice that God said, come here. And you've got to know and be secure with knowing and acknowledging who's the prophetic voice in my life. Can I help you? I'm not your doctor. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not your engineer. I'm not your mechanic. I'm not your lawn man. I'm not your housekeeper. What I am to you is a prophetic voice. Now that I am. Now, other people may not believe that, but it doesn't matter to you. Look, he says, come here. Come over here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Prophetic proximity. And there are people who sound smart, staying at a distance. They sound intelligent, justifying staying at a distance. But you'll never get the purpose breakthrough that God planned because he uses a prophetic voice. Jeremiah chapter 1. Verse 9. Here's what the word says. Behold, the Lord touched my mouth. Behold, the Lord touched my mouth. And the Lord said, I have put my words in your mouth. If you don't know whose mouth the word is in, you have your ear to the wrong lips. Trying to teach and preach and teach. For the church to go where God is taking it, we need members listening to the right lips. Now I can tell you right now, don't turn around. But if you were standing where I'm standing, you could see on people's faces who disagree. I just want you to know. I don't want you to be deceived that there are spirits in the house that are adverse to this truth because the devil goes to church himself. So you got to make up your mind. I don't care if it's my mama, my daddy, my boo, my sweetheart, my cousin, my dog, my boy. If they're not hearing the right voice, I can't hear from them. Listen, brothers and sisters. There are great blessings, benefits to being in close proximity to prophetic voice. The future of your children, parents, is determined by whose voice you are hearing. Because you can't take your children into their future if the devil derails you from yours. Shame on the parent that won't keep their children in close proximity to prophetic voice. It's to the detriment and the peril of those who decide that the prophetic voice is irrelevant to my future. Everybody in the congregation of Israel were on the brinks of inheriting land flowing with milk and honey. Crops they didn't plant, houses they didn't build. But all of that was in a voice. And somebody's saying right now, how arrogant. He thinks he's all of that. I don't know who he thinks he is. I know, let me tell you who I think I am. I can answer that question for you. So you have no misclarity about who I really think I am. Let me tell you who I really think I am. My name is James Wallace Edwin Dixon. I am a child of God. I've got imperfections and flaws, but what I do have, I've got an anointing on my life to speak for God and to lead God's people into purpose places, and you ought to know that because you're sitting in it right now. So the moment the devil lies to you and tell you he ain't all of that, then don't show up on this property again, because God did this through a word. I need about 50 people in here to help me chase the devil now. Give God a praise. Help me chase the demon out of here right now. Now hold somebody's hand and say, if he did it before, he'll do it again. There's some people in here got houses to prove it. There's some people in here got businesses to prove it. There's some people that raise their kids and send them to college to prove it, because your future is in a prophetic voice. Gotta go. My time is up. Gotta go. Look, I'm done. Finally, faith comes by hearing. Hearing by the word of God. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So they were about to get blessings through a wider door. They'd never been through a door like this one. This is a brand new door here. This right here is a whole nother level, which means it's going to take a different kind of faith. And Joshua was there 40 years ago. Remember, he went into the promised land with the 12 spies. He was one of two, he and Caleb, that came back and says, let's go right now. We're well able to take it. But Joshua wasn't the leader then. Now he's leading the whole nation. Watch this. He saw the fruit, tasted it, but he also saw the giants, but he had enough faith for it. But now he's the leader, and God has to speak to him to embolden his faith, because it ain't the same. No, following is different from leading. So in chapter 1, verse 6 and 7, God tells Joshua, be of good courage. I'll be with you like I was with Moses. Because now Joshua needed a leader's kind of faith. Tell your neighbor, the faith you used to have won't work for right now. You need a whole new level of faith for where God's about to take you. The faith you used 10 years ago won't work now. We're about to go do some stuff bigger than you've ever imagined. That's why you need a leader with faith. Now is not the time to have a coward for a pastor. Now is not, let me say it again. Now is not the time to have a coward for a pastor. Now is not the time to have a weak-spined man of God as your leader. Now is not the time to have somebody who will settle for the crumbs. You need a leader right now who says, I want it all. You need a leader who won't let you settle for the minimum wage. You need a leader who will tell you you are more than that. Oh. Hold somebody's hand and say you are more than that. The devil is a lie. You are more than that. I know you think it's good now, but you got more than that. God has more with your name. Y'all won't help me. God has more with your name on it. Your leader is telling you, get ready for another level. This is the year of elevation. I don't care who lies to you. Believe my God says that it's time for more. Can I get out of here? Look. If I had time, I don't have it right now, I'll tell you about the tribes that got left behind. Because not everybody came close to here. And I want to tell you right now, there's some people here right now. They ain't going to come close. They're going to prove to you and to themselves that they didn't need to hear this. And that's okay, because they can stay on this side. But I'm going. You got to hear the word of the Lord. That means to eliminate distance and space. To come close means I got to eliminate the space. Stand right there, Benny. See, if Benny, face me. Stay, you don't move. That's the point I'm making. When you say come close, I'm the one who adjusts. See, I'm not coming close to you. You have to come close. You have to adjust and eliminate the space and the distance between. You see, there's spiritual distance, there's mental distance, and there's emotional distance, and there's physical distance. The physical distance, you can understand. I ain't going to church. I don't need to come here. I hear when I feel like it. I come one Sunday a month. You ain't going to make it. Then there's mental distance. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I'm preaching one thing, you believe in something else. I'm talking about more, you talk about less. Mentally, we're disconnected. You got to eliminate that space by hearing and hearing and hearing. Then finally, emotional distance will mess you up. When you are feeling some kind of way, stay where you are about the man of God. You basing our relationship based on what you heard. Not based on what God put me in your life to be. See, there's some things you thought I was supposed to be to you that I'm not. And when I didn't fulfill that emotional expectation, you decided to cancel my ministry in your life, which had nothing to do with what you had in mind. I ain't your boyfriend, I ain't your boo, your baby. So if I didn't get along with somebody else, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Am I giving you the word of God? Because that's what I'm in your life to be. Ooh, I wish you could see the folk cussing me out with their eyes right now. God is saying with you, open your mouth, I dare you to cuss me out. I'll tell you, get a Bible and talk to me. This emotional distance is jacking people up. But if you died, your family gonna call me to do the funeral. If your kid got in trouble, you're going to call me to talk to the doctor, to the judge. When you need my prophetic voice in desperation, then I'm qualified. Don't let God have to prove to you who I really am in your life. He can put you in a situation where you only have one number to call. I'm done. I gotta go. On the brink of a breakthrough, faith has to override fear. Faith has to override fear. Remember, the giants were still there. The adversaries were still there. A wide door, many adversaries. So faith has to override fear. And that's why you need people in faith in your circle. In March, we're about to launch our faith life groups for singles and couples and different, because you need to have a group of people, your faith life group that you're connected to. You see, a faith life group. Because you got to choose that. See, your faith life group, can't nobody get in it. That's not faith. Because you need somebody to encourage you. So when they see a giant and they feel a little shaken, your faith life partner is going to be praying and reminding you what the Word of God says. And when you start slacking, dropping off, they'll hold you accountable. When you get weak, they'll hold you up. Because where two or three are gathered in His name, He'll be in the midst of them. Good day, God bless you. My time is up. I just need about 15 back there to separate yourself and distinguish yourself as a child of God to have faith. And open up your mouth. Stand on your 2 feet and lift up your voice and say, I'm drawing to the prophetic voice for the word of the Lord. I believe God. That's all I want you to say. Hold somebody's hand and say, I believe God. I don't care what it looks like. I believe God. The river is flooded. I believe God. The giants are big, but I believe God. I got haters all around me, but I believe God. Is there anybody here? Don't mind giving God praise. Is there anybody here? Don't mind giving God glory. Is there anybody here? No, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. I dare you to sound faith override fear. Tell somebody, now is not the time to be in fear. Now is the time to walk by faith and not by sight. If you walk by faith and not by sight, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the amazing things God has in store. Is there anybody here believe by Jesus? Anybody here believe by Jesus? Shout yes! Push somebody. Say, go in faith. Don't wait until it looks better. Go in faith. God will fight the battle. God will divide the water. God will slay the enemy. The Hittite, the Jebusite, the Amorite, the Hivite, the Girgashite, the Houstonite, the Texanite. God will destroy your enemy in Jesus' name.
As the sun rises on a new year, we reflect on the moments that shaped us, the challenges that tested us, and the joys that filled our hearts. In the ever-changing landscape of life, one thing has remained constant: our God. He is unchanging and steadfast. He walks with us through every stage of life. As we enter into this new year, we have the privilege of walking with the same mighty God. The same God who made a way when all else felt dark. The same God who is making an eternal home for us. His promises endure, bringing hope and light to every corner of our existence. With each sunrise, His love unfolds anew, guiding us through the uncharted territories of the coming days. As we navigate the unknown, we cling to the certainty that His grace will be our compass, leading us towards a future filled with purpose and direction. We don't know what this year is going to bring, but we do know who is going before us and beside us. As we step into the new year, let us marvel at the wonders around us. Let us find joy in the simple yet profound truth that our God remains the same.
There is now a way to participate in generosity in a way that's as easy as texting a friend. With Text to Give, you can give using your mobile device by following these 3 easy steps. Number 1, text the keyword and amount you'd like to give to our church's Text to Give number. Number 2, follow the series of prompts and set up your secure Give Text to Give account. Here, choose your desired payment method. And finally, number 3, save the number as a contact in your phone for future use. Text to Give only takes seconds to use and is the perfect way to connect with our ministry through giving.
Nothing is impossible in power. You've got to believe your dreams are unstoppable. Believing in Jesus.
I will bless the Lord at all times. God's praise shall continually
as a result of something known as the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference is when colonizers got together in Berlin and they decided that they were going to carve up Africa for their own exploitation. And they would decide the borders because they realized that the richest continent on the planet was Africa, and that all of the natural resources to fund their nation was coming from this space that today we call Africa. And Scripture says, now a new king, a new ruler arose over the nation who didn't know Joseph. This statement is strange. A ruler was inaugurated who was unaware of the nation's history. This does not make any sense. The Egyptian culture, based upon my reading and research, had something known as the Egyptian mystery system. It was a group of priests that were scribes that would write down the history of the people during that time period. It was the job of the scribe to collect the important events in the culture. We know about Imhotep because of the scribes. We know about Narmer, who unified Upper and Lower Egypt because of the scribes. We know about Thutmose III, who extended what we call ancient Egypt from the area that we call Sudan, Ethiopia, modern-day Egypt, into the area that today we would call Palestine because of the scribes. Because the scribes gave us the information. But it says that a king rose that didn't know anything about the history. A king arose and was inaugurated and put into power that did not know anything about the past. This is a strange thing. If I may push something here today, in the words of my professor, Dr. Valerie Bridgman, sometimes you have to preach against the text because there's a subtext that does not translate into English appropriately. You need to go to the root of the text to understand the entire context so it does not just become a pretext for your preaching. A king arose who didn't know about history. This doesn't make sense because of the type of methodical research the scribes did. How could you not know the history of your own country? How could you get into power and not know anything about the history of where you live? I believe that it wasn't that a king didn't know anything about Joseph. A king arose who intentionally wanted to distort, ban, and erase the knowledge about the history in the country. He saw a particular group of black people in his nation as a threat to his political survival. The nation was built upon their ingenuity. If you do not know, if I may give you a little Bible right now, that it was that story of Joseph. Joseph, with this coat of many colors, was sold into slavery by his own brothers. But even though he was sold into slavery, God was still hovering over him. And he was taken from slavery and elevated second in command in Egypt. He was the executive officer in the nation. He was the one who advised the economic plan for Egypt. When a famine came, he said that we need to store up for 7 years to make sure we can handle the economic downturn that is about to come about. And as a result, his family moved from one section of Africa into another section of Africa. Let me help you out. During the ancient time period, that the places that we end up calling Egypt, Northern Africa, whether you're talking Israel or Palestine or Iraq or Yemen, in the ancient period, they might have been at times, they were covered and controlled by Egypt. They moved from one section into another section. And now they are living in Egypt, and they are revered because the economic development of the nation was built upon the ingenuity and the advice of this brother by the name of Joseph. But there was a politician who arose and wanted to distort and ban and erase the history because he wanted to enslave a population. And the only way you can enslave a population is you've got to remove their history from them. But not just from them, you have to remove their history from everybody. The Egyptians had to believe they had no history, and the Hebrews had to believe they had no history. I say this to you, when politicians engage in erasing history, this is the first step in erasing a people. Anytime they want to ban what you did, they are also looking to ban a people. Slavery in America was built on a lie of inferiority of one and superiority of another. That the only way you can completely dominate a people, you have to operate out of a myth and out of a lie that we today would call racism or white supremacy. Africa has to be erased from the books. You have to view Africa as a continent that did not participate in the development of a civilization, so that you can go over to that space and say, since they're uncivilized, we are here to civilize you. And so we need to take you and teach you what it means to be Christian so that you can become a full human being. But if you knew the real history, you would understand that people of African descent have always been at the forefront of technology and art and poetry, architecture and medicine. There are some in this space that you don't believe me right now. But if I may break it down, that here we talk about the Greek beginning of civilization. But if you read Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James, he will tell you that the Greeks had to go down to Africa to study. If I may push my point a little bit further and say it this way, every time you go to Egypt and look at the pyramids are older than Greek civilization. But hold on, let me shout you right now. Everyone here who took algebra, you heard of someone known as Pythagoras, who created the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is the basis to be able to create a pyramid. How do you make a pyramid with a theorem after the pyramid has already been built? Which means that Pythagoras had to go down to Africa to study, to learn the theorem that everybody says that he invented, but in reality, he got it from some black folk in order to teach some Greek folk, and we have been telling a lie that it's Pythagoras, when in reality, it was some brothers down in Africa. You have to wipe out history in order to enslave people. You have to wipe out history in order to enslave people. You have to whitewash the Bible in order to enslave people. There are those who still think you have to find the black presence in the Bible. The black presence ain't hard to find. Start with Genesis and keep turning the pages. And you will find black people on every page in the Bible. As a matter of fact, the Bible is black history. So let me break down something that you may have not thought of because you heard of something called the curse of Ham, saying that Noah cursed Ham, and that curse of Ham is black skin. Somebody made that up. It's not even in the Bible. Noah didn't even curse Ham. He was upset because Noah was on the eve of reconstruction, and Noah decided to get drunk on the ark. And not only did he get drunk, he got drunk and was out of his clothes. You know you got to be drunk if you come out of your clothes. And his children found him, and he started cussing because his children saw his nakedness. But then you had some colonizers who said, they're talking about black people. They have the curse of Ham. Those are the black descendants of Noah. That makes no sense. The last time I checked, in order to produce a black baby, so it was not that Noah had different races, because the idea of race was not even created. But one must understand that Noah was a brother of African descent of color. You still don't believe me. I know you think Charlton Heston is Moses. But I'm here to let you know Moses is straight up South Side. He was raised in Africa, born in Africa, developed in Africa. You still don't believe me. When God wanted to hide Jesus from Herod, God told Mary and Joseph, don't go to Rome, don't go to Finland, don't go to Sweden. I want you to go down to Africa for the next 12 years and hide. Why? Because sometimes you got to hide among camouflage. You have to remove history in order to enslave a people. And we have to be careful in this day and age and understand that there are so many that attempt to remove our history. We are in a moment in this country, in this nation, where it is now illegal to even teach black history. Books by black people are being banned left and right. And 75% of the books being banned are by black authors. The number 1 and 2 people who are being banned are Toni Morrison and Maya Angelou. And you must understand this, that anybody who wants to ban a book wants to take your opportunity to be able to teach certain things to your own child. I don't know about you, but I want my children to say, "Still I rise." I don't know about you, but I want my children to know the bluest eye. I don't know about you. I want them to understand about a caged bird that sings. I want them to understand their history and their heritage. That all this banning is simply a systematic and sinister, immoral activity to be able to erase what we have done, because they come for our books today, but people will come for us tomorrow. We need to make sure we don't let anybody take our history from us. And I'm here to let you know that we must see our history as sacred, because our history does not only bless us, it blesses everyone we come in contact with. The civil rights movement, many people who were white who came from the north to the south, they didn't just come because they saw something on TV or they just felt bad. Many of them started reading history, and they realized what was happening in this nation, and they found out that I must step out and make my way down to Mississippi and Tennessee and Georgia, that we develop a connection with other people when we know their story. It is not just our story, but when we know their story. We develop a connection when we know our indigenous sisters and brothers, their story. When we know the trail of tears of Native Americans, because what they've experienced, we understand that experience. When we see and understand the story of our Palestinian brothers and sisters, what they experience, we have experienced. When we see our Indian brothers and the caste system in India, what they have experienced, we have experienced. Our Irish brothers and sisters, for their fight for freedom, what they have experienced, we have experienced. We understand and develop a connection when we learn our story and we know other people's story. And the act to erase history is the first stop to erase a people. In Nazi Germany, one must understand that what is called the Holocaust didn't just come out the air. The Nazis sent a delegation to the United States. They went through Georgia and South Carolina and Alabama, and they learned what happened in the United States. And they said, we want to improve on what they did in the U.S., and we need to erase the idea of history in reference to our Jewish brothers and sisters. And so, on this Black History Month, here at Trinity United Church of Christ, I'm here to let you know you showed up to the right church if you want to know about your history. Because here at Trinity, we blackity, black. And we're unashamed about it. We're unapologetic about it. Is there anybody up in here? Do you know that we are God's children also? We are unashamed and we are unapologetic. But I know that there are people, often when I speak about this, somebody wants to slide into my DM and throw some shade at me. But wait a minute, you can't throw shade if you can't handle the light. So don't try to throw it. You'll say, this is disruptive. This breaks us apart. This is separation. We all just need to be one. All this stuff about being black and being proud. Well, let me ask you a question, Mr. DM, since you wanted to ask the question. Why is it okay when the Greek Orthodox says that they're unashamed and unapologetic, you have no problem? Why is it that you have no problem when someone says, I'm Irish and proud, and they will turn an entire river green in Chicago, and no one has an issue? When someone says they're German evangelical and proud, no one has an issue. When they are Swedish covenant and proud, no one has an issue. When they're Korean and proud, no one has an issue. But soon as I say I'm black and I'm proud, you got an issue with me. No, the issue isn't me. The issue is you, because you can't handle the truth, which will set you. When I am fully myself and you are fully yourself, we look at each other eye to eye. But when one is superior and another is seen as inferior, that's not a level playing field. We were made by the same God. We were designed by the same God. We're blessed by the same God. We serve the same God, and I'm here to let you know there's nothing wrong with your black self. There's nothing wrong with who you are. You need to say, I'm fine the way I am. You don't need to let anybody try to convince you something's wrong with your hair, your eyes, your lips, your hips, your color, your stature, your width, whatever it may be. God made you. Why did Pharaoh try to erase or forget the history of the Jewish people? This seems to be a political move. They were, I would submit, they were nervous because it says they kept multiplying. Baby's kids. We don't die. It's concerned about this community becoming a political force. What if it says in Scripture, Dr. Reggie, it says in Scripture, what if they join our enemies? What if they join their army? But don't miss what it says, and leave the country. In other words, there'll be an economic downturn because our economy is based on exploiting them. If they realize how much power they will have too much power in our country. So we got to erase their history, and we've got to make sure we keep them in certain positions. That every time they looked at someone who was Jewish, they were suspects under surveillance. Sounds familiar. You see, erasing history is expressed politically, but is rooted economically. I'm scared of your organizing power. I'm scared of your economic potential. This is the truth behind book bans. This is the truth about the Supreme Court and all of the particular legal ramifications that are coming about. There is a fear of black power and black self-agency. Please understand this. This election has nothing to do with who you like. This election is about protecting our interests. The Supreme Court, with its recent rulings, is inching closer and closer to a framework that will have a legal justification for removing historically black colleges. We have power as a people, but we do not know how much power we have. That if we make a decision, just a few of us, and decide to get organized, we can turn this country not upside down, but right side up. Because anytime black people organize, it blesses everybody. You missed your shout. We don't organize just to hook ourselves up. We organize to hook everybody up. You still missed your shout. When we organized to abolish slavery, it didn't just bless us. It blessed every indentured servant who was Irish, who was English, who was Polish in this nation. When we organized Pullman Porters, what was known as the labor movement, it didn't just bless black men or black women. It blessed every working person. That's why you got a 5-day work week. That's why you got weekends. That's why you got vacations. That's why you got health care, because of the organizing. We want to bless everybody. When sisters organize, it's not just for black women. They organize for all women. That's why there was a suffrage movement, not just for some, but for everybody. The civil rights movement wasn't just for black people. It was for all people. And all of us benefit in the process. When black people organize, everybody benefits. I know some of you still don't believe me, but down in Georgia, if I may shout out my Spelman sister, Stacey Abrams. She didn't make it into the governor's office, but she went down in small country towns, down in Georgia, organizing with poor people and saying we can change some things in Georgia. She did not become governor. But guess what? My friend Raphael Warnock became senator. When we organize, we put people in office. When we organize, we put people out of office. When we organize, the stock market goes up or the stock market goes down. I'm here to let you know, black people, it's time to organize. It's time to organize as a people. It's time for a democracy that includes everybody. It's time to bless children who are on the margins. It's time to organize. It's time. It's time. It's time to organize. We have the power, we have the potential, we have the authority as people of God to alter this space we know as America. There is a revolution taking place. People of faith are waking up. No longer will we function under a strange evangelical doctrine that was given to us by somebody who wants to keep us in our place. We have our own theology. We have our own spirituality. We have our own interpretation and framing and scholars that can look at the Word of God. We have been doing it for hundreds of years. We did not get introduced to Christianity. We introduced Christianity to the rest of the world. But there's something that is peculiar within the text, that you will notice that as Pharaoh has this book ban and erasure of history going on down in Florida, Egypt. I'm sorry. You will notice that at first, you notice that no one is responding. No one is speaking out. It does not say that the people rose up and said, stop this, we ain't gonna take this. Nope, didn't happen. We don't see that. We notice that the people are silent. And here's this simple thing that I want to share with you. A silent people will always be mistreated by insecure leaders. A silent people will always be mistreated by insecure leaders. You have to make your issues known. People were silent. Silent people allow insecure politicians to make unethical policy. And we cannot allow unethical politicians to make policy for us. We must be a moral force. We must be an ethical movement that recognizes that we are still in the making of this thing we call democracy. As a matter of fact, as people, we cannot afford to be silent. Our ancestors weren't silent, and we're not going to be silent. They were not silent from 1619 to today. There was always somebody who was speaking up. But if you keep on reading Scripture, you'll find out that there were several people that decided not to be silent, because it looks as if the people are in trouble. But when Pharaoh then pulls aside two Hebrew women, Shiphrah and Puah, and says, I've got an assignment for you, because you all are just such good folks. You've been supportive of Pharaoh. I can see them rolling their eyes. This is what we want you to do. The policy now is leave no child behind. The policy is that when a Hebrew child is born, if you see a boy, we want you to kill the child. If you see a girl, allow that child to live. And they just look at Pharaoh with a blank stare. Got you. But it says they fear God more than they fear Pharaoh. I'm worried about what God will say. I'm worried about what God will do instead of worrying about you. And I say this right now. We need faithful people to disrupt evil actions in this world. We need a Shiphrah and a Puah, ones who are willing to be midwives, to allow something to be birthed into this world. You're still missing your shout. We need people who are willing to bring forth a future that we have not yet seen, who are willing to commit to make sure another generation has things that we did not have, that another generation will not have to go through some of the things that we have witnessed and our grandparents witnessed. We have to be the Shiphrah and the Puahs. We need to midwives. We need the midwives and the mid-husbands to bring about a new day in this nation, to bring that which was in the darkness and bring it into the light. Well, I've got to get out of here. May the Lord bless you real good. But I'm just trying to find out if there are one or two people in here who are committed to ensuring that a new generation will be born. A generation that will know who they are. A generation that will know whose they are. A generation that will fight with justice and love, compassion and grace. Is there anyone in here who is committed to the message of Jesus Christ? Is there anyone in here that's willing to fight with your head and your heart? Is there anyone in here that knows that we serve a God who can open up doors that no man can shut doors that no man can open? And if there are no doors, our God can open up a window and pour out a blessing. We need some midwives. We need some people who are willing to birth something into this world. Good day. May the Lord bless you real good. But when we come together, when we choose to organize, something can happen in this nation. I've got to go. But do I have any organizers in here? I'm talking organizers. I'm not saying you have to lead a march of 1,000. Organize your household. Organize your home. Organize your children. Organize your block. Organize your corner. Do some work to change this world. Good day. May the Lord bless you real good. May God keep you. May God bless you. But I've got to get out of here. Normally, I would just wave my hand and say bye. May the Lord bless you. But since it's Black History Month, let me throw my fist in the air Is there anybody in here? Are you ready to change the world that we are called as the people of God?
Trinity United Church of Christ set out on a mission to create Imani Village, a sustainable and ethical economic development designed to nurture the economic character of the neighborhood and deepen the ecological commitment to the community. In 2012, Imani Village became an affiliate of Trinity United Church of Christ.
My name is Otis Moss III, and I serve as pastor at Trinity United Church of Christ in the heart of Chicago's South Side. 15 years ago, we began a journey to reinvest in our community by addressing food insecurity, economic apartheid, mass incarceration, and climate change.
The Andaleo Institute provides this community with a multitude of positive programs, from educational to health-related. Taking a holistic approach to building a strong economic community, Andaleo tackles both educational and health disparities at their foundations by developing the needs of the community from within the community, a people-centric development.
If somebody gave you land and told you to build a city, what would you do? My name is Patricia Eggleston, and I'm the Vice President of a sustainable
Senior Residency Housing Project is soon to begin construction at 96th and Cottage Grove Avenue for the senior residents of our community and across the city. Our commitment to a greener future means each building will have solar panels. There is a connection between environment and health. To make a cleaner, healthier senior, there needs to be a cleaner, greener environment. But greener solutions are only half the project. Imani Village is dedicated to providing opportunities in the community. During the construction of the senior residency, there will be construction training.
We believe that we need to have a base where individuals from our community can be a part of that green community.
Every day, young children and their families depend on early childhood educators to empower, inform, and transform their lives and to become school and world ready, regardless of life challenges or success. The Trinity United Church of Christ Early Childhood Centers are responsible for safeguarding and facilitating the development and learning of young minds.
I'm Albert Jackson, the Executive Director for Early Childhood for Trinity. We're in the process of opening up the Imani Village Early Childhood Center. Our goal is to stair-step programs, the first classrooms for ages 3 to 5, for low-income families, high-quality programs, and then a toddler classroom for age 2, and then an infant room, so that we can have that family for around 4 to 5 years.
We look forward to a future community full of prosperity, full of life, full of safe, healthy, and educational growth. For our children, for our seniors, for you. Won't you join us?
Trinity UCC's senior pastor, Reverend Dr. Otis Moss III, presents his book, Dancing in the Darkness, Spiritual Lessons for Thriving in Turbulent Times. This book will radically uplift your spirit as we work justice in these politically turbulent times. Purchase your copy today. Dancing in the Darkness is available at AfterwareBooks.com, Amazon, Simon & Schuster, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads. You can also purchase the audio version at Audible.com.
Thank you for joining us for our broadcast today. So glad that you joined us. If you are ever in Chicago, you have to come by the South Side and visit Trinity United Church of Christ. There's no other church this side of the Jordan like Trinity United Church of Christ. We are unashamed and we are unapologetic. If you'd like to connect with us via social media, check us out on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube. Send us an email. Let us know if this ministry is a blessing to you. We're delighted that you are worshiping with us. We thank God for you. We are just a local church on the south side of Chicago, attempting to transform our neighborhood. I'm Otis Moss III, serving here at Trinity United Church of Christ. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, and may God bless you. Peace.
All right, we've all heard it before, right? Healthy weight isn't about a special diet or special program, but instead a lifestyle of healthy eating patterns, regular physical activity, and stress management. That all sounds good in theory, but for so many Americans, the struggle to maintain a healthy weight is real, especially for women. So today we're going to hear from a physician who's going to share her personal journey of weight loss, along with some really great healthy habits that we can all get behind. And 2 Portia Show viewers open up about their lifelong battles against obesity. There is so much to cover when it comes to losing weight, so we're going to talk about some of it today on Portia.